As the international break comes to a close, focus switches back to Blackburn Rovers, and I've noticed there's plenty more winnable games on the offering as November comes to a close. But will Mowbray be around in December? We'll talk about that and much more next. That's right, folks, back once again with another match preview. Looking forward to Blackburn Rovers' latest league match up against Barnsley. And we'll get to that in just 1 second. If you're new to the channel, smash your subscribe button to keep you bang up to date with all things Blackburn Rovers related, championship related, whoa, football related, all here under our roof. That's right, we have been busy with the old international stuff, but we're back to talk about Rovers and to talk about Barnsley this weekend. So let's get cracking, folks, and waste no more further ado. It takes place right here at the glorious Ewood Park. Yes, Barnsley are the visitors for the first time in a couple of seasons. And as it stands, Barnsley, if I can ever get there, there they are. As of recording, and I'm recording this late on Sunday the 17th of November, they are managerless. But they might have a new manager come Saturday, and they might have that new manager bounce, which would be an absolutely nightmare for us. So hopefully it doesn't happen. But anyway, it does take place this Saturday, 23rd of November, at Ewood Park. The manager currently is Adam Murray. Adam Murray likes a curry. He's the gaffer at the moment. Danger man for me is Cowley Woodrow. He's been scoring goals quite consistently for Barnsley, despite their struggles. Last season, they came in second spot, just like us back in the day in League One. And their record against Rovers is 63 games, 13 wins for Barnsley, 20 draws, and 30 losses. Defeats, that's going in our way. The last time out, it's actually all Barnsley last time out, 2-0 both home and away. And this season we duke it out this Saturday, and we duke it all out again 21st of March. Let's get going, folks, and take a look at the suspected starting lineups. When I say suspected, I'm just going for my bad boys. This is how I would play Rovers and how I expect Barnsley to play. But first and foremost, any injuries, suspensions, have we got anything for you? Nothing for Barnsley, clean bill of health. As for Rovers, though, we do have quite a few injuries. Ben Brereton could be on his way back. He actually featured or was in the preliminary squads for some under-23 games prior to the international duty. Derek Williams did pick up a little bit of a niggle on international duty, but we believe it's not too bad, and he should be back into contention for this game. Joe Grayson, the youngster, Sam Hart, the youngster, we don't know about those. Darren Lenihan, I believe, I'm making a shout out now, I think he's going to be available and he's going to be straight into the squad. Greg Cunningham, kiboshed. End of the season. Joy. This is my lineups. We're going to start with Rovers on the left-hand side here, the home team. We have gone Walton in goal because we've got nobody else. Derek Williams, Darrell Lenihan and Tosin Adebarayo because we've got nobody else to play in centre-backs. I've gone for a bit of a weird formation here. We're not going to play like this, but this is what I would play if I was the man in charge, pulling the strings and all that kind of good stuff. I'd go Downing on the left, I'd go Bennett at the right, and I'd go Travis and Dacarino, and Travis would be sort of like the holding midfielder, and Dak would do his thing up top, and then they'll have the Armstrong on the left, Gallagher down the middle, and Lewis Holtby down the right, or wherever. I know he's better served inside the middle, but you know what? You could probably push Holtby where Travis is, push Travis on the right hand side where Bennett is, and push Bennett further forward. But I don't think he's best suited there. He's sort of a middle of the road sort of midfielder. As for Barnsley, they're going to go with Collins at the back. It's pretty similar to Rovers' formation here. Civic, Holm, and Diaby as your centre backs. Brown on the left hand side, Cavari on the right, Mowat, Chaplin, and Dougal in the defensive midfield slot. Woodrow and Wilkes. Look at the statistics for you coming into this. Blackburn Rovers is the top goal scorer for Blackburn Rovers with 6 goals to his name. Williams, our defender, is second highest goal scorer with 3. Armstrong has 3, and Gallagher has 2. As for discipline, Darrell Lenihan has 5 yellows. Bennett, Cunningham, and Williams all have 4. No red cards so far. As for Barnsley, Woodrow comes into this with 6 goals to his name. McGeehan, Holme both have 2 goals as well, and Mowat down there with 1 goal. As for discipline, Wilkes has 5 yellows. McGeehan, Holme, and Anderson all have 4, and Williams has a big fat red card to his name. Moving forward, the last 5 games results for both Blackburn and Barnsley coming into this. Rovers coming into this on the back of the 2-1 defeat to Leeds prior to the international break. Before that, we did beat Sheffield Wednesday in a last-minute.com winner. Before that, we did lose to North End at Deepdale. We lost to Birmingham, and we drew with Huddersfield. As for Barnsley, they come into this without a win in at least 5. They did lose to Stoke at home 4-2. They did draw with Bristol City 2-2 at Oakwell as well. They lost to Huddersfield 2-1 on the road. They drew, surprisingly, against West Brom at the Hawthorns 2-2, and they also drew with Swansea. So not bad results there. Moving for the next 5 fixtures after this game. Obviously, Barnsley this weekend. Rovers take on Brentford. Winnable game, Mowbray. Winnable game. Stoke City at the 365. Possibly winnable game. They still are struggling. Derby at Ewood Park. Winnable game. Winnable game. And Swansea City. Maybe not winnable game. As for Barnsley, they take on Borough after us on Wednesday, 27th of November. They take on Hull City at Oakwell on the 30th of November. Into December they go. Taking on Cardiff, who just put in Neil Harris as gaffer, and they'll take on Reading on the 11th of December. This is the nitty-gritty, folks. Here on into January. A lot of games, a lot of points to be had. Take a look at the home and away forms coming into this. Rovers' last bunch of home games. Just the one defeat against Luton. That was a shit show. But around all those games, beat Sheff Wednesday. We drew with Huddersfield. We drew with Notts Forest. We drew with Cardiff, and we beat Millwall as well. As for Barnsley, no wins amongst their away games. They lost to Huddersfield, drew with West Brom, lost to Preston, lost to Forest, drew with Wigan, and they lost to Birmingham earlier as well, back in the end of August. Take a look at the form table. We'll put all those numbers in the old calculator, and this is what comes out of the table. This is the overall form book of the last 6 games. Barnsley are bottom. Rovers aren't doing too much better. Just the 1 point better off at the last 6 games. Okay, just imagine to be West Brom or Preston right about now. Even Brentford, they're doing absolute bits right now. They are on the corner, so I might say winnable game, but you know, we are playing at home, and hopefully David Raya, what a little, he must be licking his lips at the moment. They're on tip-top form. As for the home form, we're breaking those numbers down a bit. Rovers sit 12th in the table, 9 points out of possible 18 on the board. Barnsley's home form is pretty terrible. 3 points on the board, but we're not really focused about their home form. We want to know what they are like away from home. Their away form is not as great either, just 2 points out of a possible 18 as well. 2 draws out of their 6 games away from home. Rovers, if you're interested, away form, we're in 19th in the table, 4 defeats on the spin. Let's take a look at the last few games between Barnsley and Rovers over the years. It's indifferent, and it's not too bad if you're a Barnsley fan. 3 wins for Rovers, 2 for Barnsley, and 1 draw. As I said back earlier, 2 back-to-back losses for Rovers coming into this, 2-0 back at 2017-2016 season. Prior to that, back in 2014, we could only manage a 2-2 draw against Barnsley at their place. However, earlier in the season, we did spank them 5-2. JRW, that's Jordan Rhodes to you and me. Tom Kearney got himself a goal. Joshua King and Todd Kane, of all people, got himself a goal. Before that, it was a couple of back-to-back wins as well. 2-1s at Ewood and 3-1 away from home. That's an old competition, an old venue. So if you want to take a look at the last 5 or 6 games at Ewood Park, it's got 3 wins for Rovers, 2 for Barnsley, and 1 draw along the way. They do come into this on the back of that 2-0 win back in 2017, but it was 4 games unbeaten prior to that for Rovers at Ewood Park against Barnsley. But all the way back in 1999, Barnsley did beat Rovers 2-1. I think it was under the Souness era. The strengths and weaknesses for both sides coming into this. Rovers strengths, creating long shot opportunities and creating chances through balls. Defending set pieces were pretty solid at as well. Weaknesses, scoring goals. I'm not even looking at that. Scoring goals, holding a lead, defending, period, goalkeeping. Solid. These are all our major weaknesses. But they also say protecting a lead, avoiding offside, defending against attacks down the wings, defending against skillful players. Our style of play, playing down the wide, attacking also through the middle, and being non-aggressive. As for Barnsley, their strengths, creating chances using through balls, coming back from losing position. So if we're 2-0 up, don't think it's all safe as houses, boys. They'll be back in this game, no problems. As for weaknesses for Barnsley, keeping possession of the ball, finishing scoring chances, avoiding offside, protecting the lead, defending against attack down the wings, defending against long shots, defending against set pieces, defending against counter-attacks, avoiding individual errors, avoiding fouling in dangerous areas as well. Their style of play is crosses. They like to cross a fair bit, which is one of our weaknesses. I can tell you that for now. Taking long shots, being aggressive, and playing the offside trap. The forecast says Barnsley will make a comeback if they go behind, and Blackburn will stray offside often and will score a long shot. That's the forecast, if it means anything to you. Let's take a look at some of the team stats heading into this. Rovers, they've scored, the goals scored against them have mainly come from open play. 18 of the goals conceded by Rovers have come from 8 open play, 3 from set piece and 3 penalties. It's not a great score. As for the goals scored, we've scored 12 from open play, 4 from set pieces, 2 penalties and 2 OGs. As for the pass types, the majority, or on average, we throw in about 343 short passes per game, 78 long passes or long balls per game, and average around about 20 crosses per game at the moment. We want to see those crossing numbers rise. As for the stats against us passing wise, on average we concede around about 308 short passes, 69 long balls per game, and 15 crosses per match. Let's take a look more further into some positional stats here. Rovers shots on average, the majority of our shots, 60% of our shots against us come through the middle, 23 on the left, 23% on the left hand side, 17 down the right. As for the shot zones, 50% of them come within the 18-yard box, 41% outside the box, and just 9% within the 6-yard box. As for shots for us, we've taken 68% of our shots through the middle, 12 down the right, and 19 down the left. As for the zones in which they happen, 60% of the shots are within the 18-yard box, 35% are outside the 18-yard box, and 5% within the 6-yard box as well, which means we need to have a little crack at it. Have a go, boys. Have a go from midfield. As for positional stats, we like to play down the left hand and right hand side. 36% of all our attacking options have come down the left or the right hand side, with 27% down the middle. We seem to boss the midfield with the middle of the third, middle of the field with 40% of possession down the middle. Whoo! Got to get those numbers out of the way. And we do it all again, folks. We do it with Barnsley. They've scored. They've conceded 19 of their goals through open play, 7 set pieces, 4 penalties, 2 counter attacks, and 1 OG. As for their own goals, they've scored 16 so far, 11 in open play, 5 from set pieces, no penalties as it stands. Their passes on average, they throw in about 298 short passes per game, 71 long balls per game, 20 crosses as well. That's in favour of Barnsley. Against Barnsley, they seem on average to give away 302 passes, short passes, 80 long balls, and 16 crosses per game, and just 1 through ball it looks like, but it's greyed out for whatever reason. As for their shots, they against them, 67% of their shots come down the middle, and 62% of those come within the 18-yard box. As for the shots they've taken, 62% of their shots come down the middle, and 52% within the 18-yard box, and 42% outside the 18-yard box. And they also prefer to go down the left-hand side, and a little bit more often actually on the right-hand side as well, occasionally through the middle. And again, they like to boss the middle of the road. 40% of all play happens within the middle third, which I'm sure it's pretty much the same on all other teams. Quickly at the top championship teams heading into this game. Barnsley are up there in a couple of these ones. Possession still leads by Fulham, 62.5% on average. They boss possession. Leeds, West Brom, Brentford and QPR are not far behind. As for the most aggressive teams, well, Barnsley top the charts with that one. 42 yellows so far and 1 red to the name. Wigan, QPR, Hull and Sheffield Wednesday not too far behind as well. Aerial duels, Birmingham are the chiefs in that regard. They win around 58% of all aerial duels within each match that they participate in. West Brom, Millwall, Reading and Derby not far behind. Shots per game, this is where Barnsley are up there. Leeds are leading the way with 16.4 shots per game. West Brom, Fulham, Reading, and then there's Barnsley with 13.6 shots on average per game. So expect a bit of an onslaught by Barnsley. They just hit and hope, which I think I'd like to be in that chart. I'd love to be in the top 5, but we don't. We take our sweet ass time. We pass the ball, 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 and we're not even in the top percentage of pass accuracy, which frustrates the piss out of me as well. So one on the other, Rovers, get your shit out. Anyway, pass accuracy, Fulham lead the way with 87% of all passing reaching their intended target, with West Brom, Leeds, Derby and Swansea not too far behind. Obviously, the game of the weekend really is at Ewood Park. It is Rovers against Barnsley, but elsewhere on this weekend, Fulham will take on QPR on Friday night. What else we got? Charlton taking on Cardiff on an early kickoff on Saturday. Let me just straighten myself up a little bit. West Brom, Sheffield Wednesday, that's on Saturday as well. Derby, Preston, Brentford, Reading, Swansea, Millwall, Bristol City against Nottingham Forest, Huddersfield, Birmingham, Stoke against Wigan, and Luton to take on Leeds, the Battle of the L's on Saturday as well. All those games, 3 o'clock kickoffs in the UK. And then on Sunday is Middlesbrough up against Hull. Now, if you are a Barnsley supporter or a Blackburn Rovers supporter and you're here by chance and you're bored and you can't get to the game on Saturday, well, come and join me over on Twitch, boys and girls. We try to get a small crowd together as I watch the game on iFollow over here. I give you instant reaction, instant feedback. It's not all about me. There's some graphics going on behind me. You can see you won't be able to see the actual gameplay, but you can see what's going on behind me without me having to give you a running commentary. I'll give you an up-to-date little biopsy of what's going on, but you know what I mean. It will just be, and I'll give you up to date with all the other games and goals and all that kind of good stuff. It's a barrel of laughs, and I hope you guys can be with me on Saturday. Link to my Twitch thing is in the old description below. So that's the games that are going to be taking place this weekend. Well, what does the table currently look like? Well, it looks like this. West Brom, you guys must be over the moon, as must be Preston North End fans, sitting second in the table. Leeds, Swansea, Norwich and Bristol City are in the top 6 as well. Down the bottom, Barnsley, Stoke and Middlesbrough would go down if the season was to end today. Rovers on the flip side, we are in 18th spot. But guess what, folks? The season starts now. There is a shit ton load of games between now and January. This is where it all matters. Get some points on the board. I think if I'm a Rovers fan, I'm looking at this table, 18 points right now. My goal will be top 10, which is a good 6 points away. Win against Barnsley, win against Brentford. Who else are we taking on after that? I think it's Derby, something like that, or Stoke. Yeah. If we can get some points on the board, I'll take 7 points out of that haul, and then maybe just maybe we can close the gap in on those top 10 spots. And I'd like to be in around that 10th spot, 9th spot, 8th spot come January the 1st. And you know what, folks? We're back in the flipping game, boys and girls. Back in the flipping game. You know who is in the game? These boys are here. These are the current leaders in the championship, but whether it's goals or assists, Mitrovic leads the way with 12 goals to his name. Watkins has 10. Grant and Bowen both have 9. Bowen doing it again. Wells, Johnson both have 8. Heigl and Graben have 7. Assombalonga, and there he is. Corley Woodrow's up there with 6. No Bradley Dack for whatever reason. I don't know. Maybe it's just they just don't like him. As for the key assist man is Elison for Bristol City, Swifty Boy, Pereira, Williams and Mowat leading the way. Again, Barnsley man's up there. They're doing bits. They've got the statistics up there. Shots per game as well. Woodrow's up there. So despite their struggles, a couple of little standouts for Barnsley as they try to acclimatise to the championship. But that, my friends, is an in-depth look at the numbers, the stuff that matters. But what's going to happen? Well, I don't know. I really don't know. I'm expecting a Rovers victory. If I'm honest with you, we need to get back to winning ways, because Mowbray has been treading on thin ice of late. I was hoping for 4 points at the final 2 games. He got 3, but the Leeds game was iffy. You know what? We did give him a competition a little bit. We forced it a little bit, but ultimately it was just not good enough to get anything out of that game. So this is it. I'm looking at the next 4 or 5 games, potentially very, very winnable, potentially a lot of points on the offering. But there's a massive negative side to that. If we don't pick up a result against Barnsley, if we don't pick up a result against Brentford, and we don't pick up a result against flipping Stoke City, then I think it's done and dusted, and we could be losing him even before December starts. So massive couple of games and massive end to the month of November for Mowbray and also Blackburn Rovers. Anyway, folks, give me your thoughts and opinions about the game as we count down to kick off. I'll see you all on Twitch, hopefully. Details in the description. Make sure you give this video some loving, and also make sure you smash the subscribe if you are new to the channel. We've got plenty of videos here at Blackburn Rovers. We've got Football Manager 2020, Euro 2020, Premier League predictions, Champions League predictions. We've got it all here under one roof, and I'm going to see you next time around. Thanks again for watching. Please like, share, and most importantly, hit the subscribe button to keep you bang up to date with all things Blackburn Rovers related, Championship related, football related. We've got it all covered right under one roof. And while I still have you, please be sure to check out some of the old videos scattered along here. I hope.